there, everyone, and welcome to the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Larson. And this is episode 154. Oh, I really am excited for today. Yesterday, I was listening to an Abraham-Hicks video on YouTube, and I heard something that I have heard probably hundreds of times before, but because of the way it was worded this time, I heard it so completely different. Yeah, it totally blew my mind. Okay, so where is it here? I'm just trying to find it. Oh my God. Okay. So what Abraham was talking about is that your present moment was created by what you thought and felt in the past, okay? And then what I heard Abraham say for the first time is that how I'm feeling in this moment, what I'm feeling in this moment is creating my future. You know, it was one of those things where it was like, drop the mic. I totally was like, OMG, I can't believe it. It was like, I got it. And you know, one thing I just want to tell you guys, I just really want to encourage you that sometimes we need to hear things 1, 3, 5, 10, 1,000 times until we get it. And if you could do the best to not judge yourself in the process, and or even do like I used to do before and can occasionally do now, but not so much, is that when I finally get the awareness of something, I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I know this sooner? You know, I've heard it before. How come I didn't get it? Well, because you didn't get it till you got it. Like whatever knowledge we gain in the meantime from the last time we heard it or the last 10 times we've heard it is what created us getting it now. Now, okay, how I am feeling in this moment is creating my future. Now, okay, I'm not going to lie. I thought before I was creating an okay future. I've mentioned to you guys before, like I like to look at it as almost like a stick or a ruler with like 0 to 100 on it. And I thought for the most part, I was kind of functioning around 50, the occasional blip into maybe 60, having the odd moment down into 20, 30, and then bringing myself back up. Now, none of this along any of this scale is judgeable, people, okay? Let me be clear and preface this with that, okay? Because living at 50 is not wrong. Now, I found life so intense and so uncomfortable and so unsafe before, okay? In my world, that's how I perceived it. That to be at a 50 for me was just so much freaking relief. I was so happy with that. Now, what I've discovered with what I've asked for or what I'm asking for in my life, and I'm asking for joy, and like I talked to you guys before, vibrancy. I want wealthy, playful, congruence, inspired life, and I want to trust myself. Now, within all of that, staying at a 50, God, I feel like a preacher. Oh boy, people, do you hear me now? Hallelujah. That's so funny. You ever seen a white hallelujah preacher? You're getting one today. This intensity is my excitement about this, or my awareness with this. So, when I'm living at 50, I'm actually not, in my world, creating the 70, 80, 90, or even an occasional 100% of joy, wealth, fun, playfulness, inspired. Like, I'm not going to have it at 50. So now that I realize that 50 is like, okay, and that's where I've actually been mostly functioning at. I actually want more. Now, what's interesting about this too, though, is that when I desire to have more, if there is any of that 10, 20, 30 yucky, well, what we'd call negative, unhappy energy, guilt, shame, blame, grief, which are all not judgeable places to be. They're just awareness and information of where we're at or what we're creating. And so, and just, a place to just sort of acknowledge. But when you have that functioning and locked within your body from old memories, old energies, that is going to hinder you creating a 70, 80, 90. Okay? It's just not going to happen. Now, what I've noticed in my life is what's coming up for me are things that I want to actually, like I had something created on the weekend where I was like, oh my God, this again. And it felt like gut wrenching. And I was like, oh, and then I remembered, people, I remembered that my awareness is so much more refined now. What I'm asking for is so great that if that energy of what came up for me is in my world, it is not going to assist me. I need to clean it up, clear it out. And speaking of clearing out, bless me. So after I got over that very quick moment of judging myself, oh my God, what is this doing here again? I thought I was better than this. I remembered that this is coming up because it wants to be cleared. And I've asked for the 70, 80, 90, 100. And the universe is like, baby, you got to take care of this if you want to get there. So here you go. And so keep in mind, this was there 2 years ago, 5 years ago. I know for me, this particular energy, this particular situation has been there for me 2, 3, 5, 20 years ago. And my awareness is so much more clear now and so much more acute that it feels like it's louder. It's not. I just have more of awareness of it now. So when I looked at it, I was inviting myself to go, okay, I don't actually desire this in my life anymore. I can actually ask for something different. And if you guys have been paying attention or noticing that or listening to the calls that I've had, the Spirit Animal Oracle, actually last Wednesday, I had done a mini reading on it, episode 50, 49, 48. On episode 148, no, it was yesterday's. Oh my gosh, what happens when you pre-record these things. There is actually the rhino spirit animal card that's in there. And I've gotten that card a few times lately. And what I'm aware of in my world is it's like the universe and is letting me know that I can just like kind of charge ahead through these things. I don't have to actually, like there's times, and this is what you got to ask questions around, guys or girls, people, is that, is this something to just push through? Is this something to just let go? Is this something that I need to clear on? And so all different times it's going to be all different things. And sometimes it may be, a combination of all. And I just feel like I want to just sort of read the rhino thing here. It says, we always have the choice to press ahead. With Rhino's spirit, strength offers you the power to break through stubborn obstacles. Now this, for me, this energy that showed up on Friday has been something that's been stubborn. Now, keeping in mind what Dr. Joe talks about, it's like you can't keep bringing into your universe what you don't actually have going on in your body, in your reality. Actually, if you listen to Abraham, you'll hear the same stuff, different words. And so I'm like, what am I being that continues to create this? One of my favorite quotes by Dr. Joe, the quantum field responds not to what we want, it responds to who we're being. So remember, if you're not getting what you want, if what you want and who you're being is lined up, you will receive what you want. And if that isn't lined up, what are you being that is creating you to not get what you want? And so I got the awareness with this energy that showed up for me on the weekend was this is one of those times where it's stubborn. And I'm like, I am just making the choice that this is changing. And I know with that demand that it's going to change now. It's no longer welcome invited in my universe. And what that actually means too, which is kind of shocking, is that on some level, it served me to keep holding on to the other thing. And what I know for me is true is that I still found a space where being a victim of circumstance, being at the effect of, like the effect of, was still contributing to me in some way. Like I didn't, and what that means is then I would have to really acknowledge that I create my own reality and that I have the ability to change this. Now, we may not know how to change it because, of course, on the weekend, I didn't know how to change it. But I know enough now that I can change it. And the universe has my back. I don't have to do this on my own. I can call in elementals. I can call in quantum entanglements, you know. I can call in teammates. I can call in angels, fairies, God, divine, source, like whatever you want to call it. Angels, whatever reads for you. Ask them. They are waiting. And so I've asked them. Now, what's really interesting is with that, you may then find you come across situations that create a lot of discomfort in your world. This last week for me, wow, it was a humdinger. And I kept choosing lighter, choosing what created greater, whether it was uncomfortable or not. And so within that, I was aware that I could have overcome any obstacle. Now, I actually also wanted to, which I didn't want to till I did. And that's okay too. You know, we get there when we get there. And judgment at any point does not contribute. The place that judgment contributes is that for the awareness and the information that you're judging. And then what would you like to do with that? All right, so judgment itself is not wrong. It's just, again, asking yourself, is this contributing? Probably not likely. And judge until you don't. Because you have choice. And that's a beautiful thing. How many of us have felt throughout our whole lives that we didn't have any choice? Well, you have choice. That's why you could say, okay, well, Laurie, you say judgment isn't wrong, but it actually doesn't create more. So how can it be wrong? How can it not, how can it not be wrong? Well, it's the fact that you're judging, your judgment is what creates the problem. If you're just aware that you're judging and you go, okay, what is this actually creating? Truth, is this creating greater in my life? Then do the heavy and light that I've talked about before. Truth, is this creating greater? Nope, that's actually really heavy. Truth, is it not creating greater? Whoa, that's actually really light. Okay, so then let yourself sit there. You see, I'm not ready to give up this judgment of this person, of myself, of this situation. And let yourself have the freedom. Give yourself the freedom. Do you know what's really interesting is that when it's almost like when we know kinder for ourselves and we know freedom for ourselves, it's like we just choose greater automatically because it's just sort of innately who we be. So when Rhino Spirit appears, you are reminded that you have a marvelous ability to overcome obstacles in multiple ways by going around them, shattering them with the force of clear, deliberate intentions, or even transforming them into clouds that drift away by refusing to allow them to limit you. Oh, man, this was so good. This was so, so good. I so encourage you to just take the time to really be present with yourself and, be honest with yourself with where you're functioning from. seeing what that's actually creating for you and your future, and then choose different or not. Yeah. Oh my gosh, people. I so adore you. Just be aware how you're feeling in this moment is creating your future. And if you're not, and on a last note, if you're not sure, like if what you're creating in your life is not what you want, but you actually don't know what you're being that's creating that, ask the universe, quantum entanglements, elementals, angels, guides to show you. Okay? Ask them to show you, and they will. All right. How does it get any better? Adoring you as always. Thanks for listening.